Are you looking to create a content strategy for 2022? If so, then you have landed in the right video, because in this training, I'm going to share with you exactly what I'm doing on every single platform. And I'm also going to share with you if you even need to be on all the platforms in 2022. So keep on watching. My name is Jelena Ostrovska from JelenaOstrovska.com. Welcome back to my channel. I create organic social media content for six-figure female coaches and consultants, and today we're talking about my bread and butter, which is content marketing. So, in the last couple of years, especially during the pandemic, a lot of platforms have evolved, changed, and shifted. We have TikTok now, which has surpassed Google by the amount of visitors that it has had. So it has been a very interesting transition from, just consistently seeing long form video content on YouTube or reading articles. And then all of a sudden we're coming back to, or not necessarily back, but we're coming kind of back because Vine used to be a thing where, those 7-second video clips. So now we have TikTok, we have Instagram Reels, we have Pinterest that also has idea pins. And just overall, a lot of the times, I look at the content strategies and I'm like, where do we even focus on? Because, I hear this advice all the time, focus on one platform, just choose one thing at a time. And while I do agree, if you are a beginner and you absolutely do not have a single, person in your audience yet, or if you're just getting started, like you literally started your business yesterday, you do not have to be on all platforms. In fact, when I was first getting started, I was focusing just on Facebook. Okay, so I have grown Facebook to a certain amount of people. And I have a pretty substantial audience on Facebook that I've grown both organically and with paid advertising. So I have a personal profile, I have a business page. I've also built Facebook groups before. Actually, I've built one Facebook group, then I kept getting banned by it. I was being put into a Facebook jail all the time. So I was like, okay, let me just start over. So I've started another group, grew it to, like 200-300 members. So I've had a lot of extensive experience with Facebook. And then I started, transitioning to YouTube, transitioning to building a website, obviously building my email list all the time. And then all of a sudden, I'm on Twitter now, I have an Instagram account, I have a TikTok account, so I have, several hundred or even 1,000 followers on each platform. But let's talk about what I'm doing this year. So now, bear this in mind, I'm kind of an established business owner, or should I say, I'm not necessarily an established business owner, because I feel like that gives us that responsibility that we don't always want to carry. So I do consider myself more of an advanced person, just because I've been on social media for a very long time. I've built different businesses, but I pretty much started my business from scratch in 2021. Obviously not building my audience from scratch, because I already have all these people everywhere. But I started a new service. I decided to no longer do network marketing anymore. I decided to not just promote affiliate marketing like I was before. I've also decided to basically scratch all of my digital courses that I have had created in the past and started over with offering social media management. And I've just started with offering Instagram management, and this year I'm working on expanding that. So let's get into where I'm putting my focus on this year and the platforms that you want to look into this year. So the very first thing that I do want to say that when you are choosing your platform, I recommend selecting two. And this is my recommendation. Some people are going to disagree, but I feel like when you are just growing one platform, it's a little bit limiting. And here's what I mean by that. So there are two different types of platforms. There is a searchable platform, what I call it, and there is a social platform. A searchable platform, think YouTube, blogging, podcasting. So those are the ones that are searchable. They give you long-term results. You put the content out there and you generate leads and sales pretty much on autopilot without you having to lift a finger, right? So they're there. My YouTube videos are still generating me views. I'm still getting email subscribers from my YouTube videos, and I'm still getting YouTube subscribers, right? So my audience is growing there, whether I publish or not. In fact, in 2021, I basically spent the whole summer without publishing. I maybe published 1 or 2 videos. I was kind of on a long vacation, and it still grew. Like, I was still generating about 50 to 60 hours of watch time every single month just because I have those videos ranking. And watch time, I mean, people have spent 50 to 60 hours every single month watching my YouTube videos, and I wasn't publishing anything new, right? Now, what you have to understand, if you are a newer business owner, then you're not going to get results fast from a searchable platform. You are going to get fast results from social media. And here's how I recommend for you to select and where you need to focus on if you're just getting started. Focus on social platform first. Put 80% of your effort into that. You have to be talking to people, you have to be publishing content, you have to be showing up in front of your audience, you have to be in the conversations, because if you want to make sales, if you want to attract clients and customers, the fastest path to money is conversations, is, like they say, it goes down in the DMs, right? So it goes down in the direct messages. So every single time, I have slow months or I have slow weeks and I look at my marketing, I look at overall what I'm doing, how many conversations have I started last week? How many conversations do I have going on right now? And if the number is less than like 5 or less than 10, then I know it's time to double down on conversations. So that's really where you have to put your attention on. So I was watching a video by Vanessa Lau the other day, and I like how she talked about the distinction between, whether you are building a business or you are growing a business. So, I feel like I'm in the process of building it because I'm still building up the foundation. I'm still building out the offers. I'm still building out the operations and procedures, and it's still, I consider myself like a newbie, like to some extent, right? And then when it comes to the business growth is when you already have everything set up and you're just basically throwing money into the business, you're hiring, you're outsourcing, you're doing all those things. So I am in the building process personally right now. So here's where I'm focused on. So I'm focused on growing my Instagram account. Or should I say building my Instagram account, or like building the relationships with my existing audience, because I feel like my Instagram personally, like I'm gonna keep it honest, it has been very stagnant. I feel like I've only maybe grown by a couple hundred followers in the last 6 to 9 months, probably the last like 6 months. I've only grown to I definitely crossed the 2,000 followers mark. But what I'm not necessarily starting, but what I'm realizing for myself is I do not need to have a big audience, and neither do you. If you are a coach or a consultant or a service provider and you have a high ticket service to where you're working with people one-on-one, you don't need to have 10,000 followers on Instagram. I still get those messages from people saying that, oh yeah, I'm working on, getting 10,000 followers on Instagram and, so-and-so followers on that platform. And I'm like, why? Like, what's your thinking and reasoning behind that? Do you feel like when you hit that mark, you're going to immediately be successful? Not really. Like, I know people who have over 100,000 followers on Instagram and they're not making any money. And then I know people who have 5,000 followers and they're making multiple 6 or close to 7 figures in their total revenue, right? So your number of followers does not mean anything. It's better to go, deep rather than wide. It's better to go deep with your existing audience than to go wide and not get to know the people that are in your audience. One thing that I'm making sure of this year is I'm connecting with every single person that is following me. So, and I don't get a whole lot of new followers every single day. It's sometimes 5, sometimes 10, sometimes 3, sometimes 0. So every single time I do get a new follower, I first check, is this a real person or is it a fake account? And honestly, I'm not afraid to delete people as a follower. So there are times when somebody follows me and it's like a sugar daddy, like literally says in their profile, and I'm like, this is weird. This is not my ideal client. My ideal client is a woman who has a business, or men. I primarily target women though, who has a business, and I can clearly see it from her profile, right? So, and in my case, I delete followers, and the rest of the followers that I do see as qualified people, as somebody who I may be wanting to work with or collaborate with, I will either follow them back or send them a message and make sure that we're actually connected, right? And if I don't hear anything back from them, I just move on, right? So my focus for this year, not necessarily in terms of my content strategy, but just overall, I want to make sure that I connect with people every single day. And if you are a business owner, please do not just rely on your content, because content is all great, but if you're not actually marketing and communicating with your audience, you're going to be missing out big time. Now, in terms of the content strategy, I'm putting a big focus on my YouTube channel and my website this year. So I've wanted to start a podcast for some time, and I even got a microphone this year. This is what I'm using right now to make sure that my audio quality is better than it has been before. However, it's not on my list to start a podcast this year or even next year. So I don't know, maybe things are going to change, but one thing that I'm doing this year is I'm working on turning every single video, or at least every other video, into an article, right? So, and I have some tools that I'm going to be talking in the future videos of, like, which tools I'm actually using for that to simplify the whole process, because writing an article is a lot of work. Turning a YouTube video into an article that's actually going to rank on Google is a lot of work. So, but one thing that I notice when I look back at the business that I've had in 2015, 2016, 2017, when I was blogging, when I was putting out not just YouTube videos, but also articles, I was getting a lot of leads every single day. Okay, I was getting a lot of leads, I was making consistent sales, or at least almost consistent sales, right? So I was still a newbie back then, and I had affiliate marketing and network marketing businesses going on. I was not coaching or doing anything that I do today. So, and I decided this year, after surveying my audience on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, it looks like people are actually reading articles these days. So I want to make sure that I cater to my audience the best way possible, because we all have different learning styles. Some of us prefer to listen, some of us prefer to watch a YouTube video like maybe you're doing right now, and others prefer to actually read an article on their iPad or on their computer and just kind of make it, chill. Like, not all of us understand all the information through a video, right? So this is what I'm doing in terms of the first step of my content strategy is YouTube and my website, and I'm basically doing a combination of that. Now, the next step is distributing that content. So one thing that I have really not focused on in 2021 was distribution of my content, especially my YouTube videos. So because every single time you publish a video, your work doesn't really stop, right? So there's a lot of work of pre-recording, pre-filming, pre-publishing phase. So, I prepare the content, I do the keyword research, I make descriptions, I, have my iPad with the descriptions of the videos. And this video is kind of more on the fly, actually. And then after the video is being sent to my amazing video editor, so she edits the videos and then she gets them back to me. Then I obviously check them, I publish, and the next step is to actually send the video to my audience, right? So in my case, one thing that I'm adding this year to my content distribution strategy is Pinterest. So I'm really curious to see and experiment with it. I wouldn't say it's like a full strategy yet. I'm still experimenting. So this is kind of how my account looks like today, with a little under 3,000 monthly views so far. So I'm probably going to do a video later on as I get more experience with it, as I see an actual strategy and I see some growth happening. And also, I want to make sure that I not only see the number of followers growing, I want to make sure that my website gets more visitors from Pinterest. So we're definitely going to be experimenting with that. So every single time I publish a YouTube video, here's a couple of things that I intend to be doing. So first of all, promote on my Instagram stories, as I do get a pretty decent amount of views over there. Promote on my, IG video, so the good old IGTV. Promote, take a piece of video and also create a similar piece of content through Instagram Reels and then drive traffic that way. Also, I have a Facebook group that I haven't really touched, so maybe I'm going to keep promoting there. Also, my Facebook personal profile stories, I'm using those because I can have a clickable link as well. And if you, have it, which chances are you are, so definitely use that place and use that space to promote your content, right? So I don't consider that spamming because it's literally going to be just once a week. So use that link, clickable link wisely, right? So then obviously Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So I do spend a lot more time on Twitter these days. So not only do I kind of check what's going on in the world, but also I do have a pretty good network over there of people that are, enjoy my content. So I want to bring more of that there. And then obviously publishing my videos as articles. And then at some point I am considering starting doing some paid advertising, but I'm not there yet. In terms of the strategy, I'm still working on some backend stuff. So this is kind of my YouTube distribution content plan so far. Now, in terms of social media, so my main place this year still remains Instagram, right? So I show up there daily. I'm there on stories. I publish Instagram reels. So my intention for January has always been go really hard in January, because towards the end of the year, things are kind of slowing down. So you have to figure out what's going to be sustainable for you. And I feel like this is one of my words for 2022 is sustainability. So what is it that I can actually sustain? Because publishing daily Instagram reels, if you don't have a team, is not always viable, is not always going to be doable. Like, you can do that, but if you just focus on Instagram, right? Then the second thing is Instagram carousels and Instagram posting. So if you are at a point where you're listening to this and you're like, okay, so I have this business, I really want to focus on just serving my clients, then I'm going to be your girl to help you with your social media strategy and actual content planning and scheduling. And basically, if you want to take it off your chest completely, or off your shoulders, then check the link in my bio. Let's hop on a call. Let's talk about your social media needs, and you can definitely outsource it to me and my future team, as I'm kind of currently in the process of turning it into a full-blown agency very soon. So very excited about that. But yeah, so Instagram is like my main platform. So here's kind of the things that I'm doing. So I have a weekly YouTube video happening every single week, right? So there's video, then I promote it on all the platforms, like I just outlined. And then what happens next is I have at least 1 or 2 pieces of content on Instagram that are going to be like taken out of that YouTube video. So if the video talks about, 5 strategies to grow on Instagram, my Instagram post is going to be sharing at least 2 or 3. And then it's going to be a carousel, and then I'm going to be promoting my YouTube video that way. Now, the other strategy is creating a Twitter thread, and then you can even start with a Twitter thread. So like, I've written some threads on Twitter in the past to where it's like one tweet and then another one as a reply and another one as a reply underneath. So that makes it a thread, right? A lot of, media companies are doing it. So definitely check it out. So check it out on my account as well. And essentially what you can do, and it's even going to speed up your content in general, you take your YouTube video, you take some key points out of it, because obviously tweets are like 280 characters each, so there's not a whole lot of space for you, although it's definitely more space than it has been in the past. And then what you do is you screenshot these tweets and you republish them on Instagram, and that makes it a carousel and it makes it way faster. So definitely start doing something like that. And then my Facebook strategy, honestly, like, I have not even been a whole lot on Facebook last year. I definitely have not focused on it at all. Like, I just wanted to kind of shift, and after pandemic hit, I have not been enjoying my time on Facebook personally. So I feel like I have been a lot more on Facebook groups. So my strategy for Facebook is honestly just repurposing the content from other platforms, mostly from Instagram. And, sometimes sharing lifestyle, because I feel like on Facebook, every single time I do a major value post, people just don't care. But if I post something funny, if I share like an industry meme, or, even I promote something, I get a way better response than just sharing value. So I feel like you have to treat Facebook as such. And even any creator that I look at, either they have a really good structured promotional post that they talk about their, their clients' results, and then they're promoting something directly, or, people just hang out in groups. So that's really what I intend to be doing this year. And honestly, that's pretty much it. And I will just say one thing, if you are going to be, trying your way into multiple different platforms, be on one main social media platform. Like, just choose one and stick to that. Make sure that you always respond to messages. Make sure that you always are networking with people, because ultimately, yes, your content has to be great and your content has to be putting you out there. But one thing that you have to be absolutely doing is networking with people. And that's really what's going to make a difference in your business, especially if you are just starting out. So this is my entire content strategy, and I know I kind of went a lot deeper into not just the overall content strategy, but the things that you have to consider as an entrepreneur, whether you are a beginner or you are an established business owner. If you are a beginner, Check out my newsletter that I'm putting out every single Sunday, the OG Insider, the Organic Growth Insider, where I share what I'm working on behind the scenes. I'm sharing the content strategies, I'm sharing my experiments. So I essentially talk to my email list in a very different way that I talk to my social media. So definitely get in there. This is like the insider news that nobody really gets, not even my clients. So definitely check that out. And as far as if you are an experienced business owner and you're at a point where you're looking to outsource your social media and you just want to focus on serving your clients and being in conversations, then click the link below or send me a message on Instagram, and we're going to talk about how we can potentially be working together. And with that being said, I appreciate you. Definitely check out these videos right here. I have a whole social media playlist, content marketing playlist, video marketing playlist. So let's make 2022 an amazing year in terms of content marketing, in terms of growth, and in terms of, revenue, because followers do not mean anything if you cannot turn them into paid clients. So I appreciate you. Give me a like down below, hit subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and hit the bell sign down below to get notified every single time there is new content, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.